Alright, it's been a while since I've recorded an update because I've been staying in a hostel, so it's kind of rare that I actually have time where I'm completely alone in the room and I feel like I can record. And when I am alone, a lot of times I'm just not feeling up to it, but man, so Alright, so I'm actually right across the street from my language school and the hostel I'm currently staying in, which is pretty cool. It's literally the next house down, and my class is starting in like less than 15 minutes, but I don't have to rush and commute for an hour and get up extra early because it's right there, so I'm loving this. It's a very small hostel. They've got like 2 dorm rooms, I think maybe 6 and 8 beds, and 3 people working there. Yeah, it's like the owner, I guess, like sent a personalized email confirming the time I was arriving and asking to like please answer, and I didn't know if I was the only one getting an email or they just email everybody. I haven't met the owner, but the other people are really nice. It's just like the sort of environment where it's so small that everybody introduces themselves and everybody talks, and they've got a WhatsApp chat where you can go out and do something in town every evening, and I haven't participated in that at all because I just haven't had the energy, but at least I guess I know about stuff that's out there and maybe I can check it out at some point in the future. The cleaning products, whatever they're using, like it smells a lot nicer. Like it's not just yeah, it's not so harsh, so that's nice. I met a guy from Israel who was encouraging me to go there because I mentioned that I had considered going there, and he's like, yeah, go for it. And so I start thinking I've got all of these plans now involving Hungary, Italy, France, and now Slovenia, and now I'm trying to find a way to work Israel in there too. And there was also someone from Serbia, so we actually got along really well, and now I'm thinking if I go back to Belgrade, maybe you know, at least I'll have the benefit of knowing a local who can maybe show me where to go so that I can, you know, see the nicer side of Belgrade. Yeah, what else? Okay, so the hostel I was staying in before, where I filmed the last update, was using these really strong cleaning products that were just like it felt like torment. Like it was so Alright, so the first hostel I stayed in was spacious, I felt. Like it was like an actual ladder you climbed up to the bunk beds, and you had like a lot more room. There was like space where I could keep all of my clothes up there on this little like piece of wood after the end of the mattress. And it was like a big spacious house. There was this really comfortable like huge bean bag that I could lay on a lot of the time. And there was like 2 houses that had been connected together, and mine was in the second side, and you go through this little wardrobe like you're going into Narnia, which is really cool. So I loved all of that about it, but the cleaning products they used were so strong that it just felt so harsh for me every time I could smell them. And the cleaning lady would come every day at 4 and clean the bathroom, and since the bathroom was adjoining, it would obviously come into the bedroom. You know, even though she would close the door, I would seep through, and then I would think I'll just go out into the living room, but the bathroom also opens that way, and then there's the other bathroom and shower she was cleaning, so you could smell it even more in the living room. And there was really no easy way to escape it. And then there were a lot of people spraying cologne and deodorant in the bedroom, and I always felt like I was suffocating, and I was constantly trying to cover my mouth and my nose to like filter it a bit. I really wish I had a mask for situations like these. I thought that I wasn't so sensitive to chemical smells anymore, but apparently sometimes I still am. So that was really rough. And then there was this Hungarian guy who invited me to smoke with him a few times for like a few minutes, so I would go out and we'd sit and chat. And then like the 3rd time we went out, there was this other guy there. It was the first time I had seen him, and I could tell that he was interested, but he has just like this way that like certain guys do when they're like flirting with you, where it just sounds like they're in this dream state or something, and they're just like, yeah, you know, and it's like with this way of like talking to you like they're seeing stars, and like I don't get it at all. It just feels like really condescending, and like you have no mental capacity. So I was, you know, not helping him along, but also not resisting. Okay, that sounds awful. But after that, he and I smoked together. And then we were like watching a movie, and then the next day we smoked together again, and we're watching a movie again, and then we sort of like started making out. But then he had this like really horrible like smell in his breath. It was like something was rotten, and like I don't know if he has like a cavity or what. And I felt like I could put up with it at the time, but then after that I just really I couldn't like I couldn't deal with it anymore. Like I felt like it just bothered me too much. Like I could smell it from like more than arm's length away, and there was something just really awkward about him. Like he was really attractive, but he would just like sit, and I had the feeling like he was waiting for me. And like there was one day where what am I saying? Okay, yeah, so like the day after we made out, I wake up and he's sitting on a bed in my room, and I was just like, what the fuck? And he says they told him to switch rooms for just one night, but then he's sitting there all day, like, you know, I'm sleeping during the day, and it felt like he was just waiting for me to get up. And I told him off, and he left, and I didn't see him at all the rest of the night. But then after that, I felt like every day he was just sitting in a chair near the entrance waiting for me to come by so that he could try to talk to me. And a lot of times I would just sort of not say anything because I wasn't in the mood to talk at all. Like, I was really out of it, and it was like just constantly there, and I had no sense of just like downtime and peace. And then after a while he would sort of like come and wait on my side, on like in my living room. So then I really felt like I can't even just hang out in the living room. Like, I want to stay in my room in bed. And it just got to be like really sort of unpleasant, to the point where like when I left, I kept seeing people sitting in like different places and thinking it was him, and like I was ready to like have to snap at him and tell him to like leave me alone and not ask where I'm going. And fortunately it wasn't him, and I managed to leave without having to see him again. But I mean, that was a really intense experience. I've never experienced anything quite like that before. You know, I've never had an issue like that at a hostel I've stayed at. I ended up having to move after a week because the hostel was fully booked anyway. So I didn't get like my chance to rest and not move for a couple weeks. But in the end, I think it was a good thing that I had to move on either way.